All of my favorite times at home with the family seemed to be in front of the television set. I kind of knew that the TV was where I wanted to be.
You have to be your own biggest cheerleader.
I've had to learn a lot of lessons along the way.
And I thought, well, I'm just going to sit down and see if I can write it, and I did.
Certainly as an artist, I can go back and tap onto a lot of experiences that I've had growing up.
If it's what you love to do, what's the alternative then?
If you keep looking forward and moving ahead, things tend to work out.
Because of my job, I get to do so many amazing things.
I majored in television and film production. At first I thought I was going to be a journalist, so I learned print that way. Then I went to San Francisco right at the .com boom, so I started getting involved in web graphics. I lived in both the analog and the digital world. I had one foot in each. The Disney company does two things. They tell a story and they distribute a story. And I asked myself the question of, who is the audience? What is the story we are trying to tell? Is this the best way to tell the story? Storytelling is changing because of things like social media. People have seen the same story for years, and now it's time to change it up a little bit. So we're in a reimagination phase. So that's really, really exciting. A year ago on Halloween, I got an MRI because I had some pain in my right leg. The doctor looked at the MRI. She didn't even need to examine my leg, but she put her hand on my knee and said, "You have cancer in there, and there's only one way to get it out. Chemo won't work. Radiation won't work. It has to be cut out. And it has to be cut out with a wide margin. We can cut you here above the knee and here below the knee and save your leg and replace your knee with a metal hinge. And there could be some complications. If you ever get an infection, it'll spread to your knee because your body doesn't really want that metal in there." And I said, "Well, what else have you got?" And she said, "Well, instead of cutting you here and here, we could just cut you here and sew you up there." The only good thing to come out of our recent wars is how good prosthetic legs have become. And I said, you're talking about like a robotic leg. I want that. So I had an amputation on December 2nd. And when I woke up, my whole family was there. And they said, "You don't have cancer anymore." So that was a good day. So I was out for 5 months. And my first step out of the bus, I fell onto the sidewalk. And I picked myself up and I said, "Thankfully, I don't have to do that again. I'll never fall for the first time again." I brushed myself off and went to work. Losing my leg was one of the best things to happen to me. It has opened up so many doors. An invitation came up to learn how to play sled hockey at the New York Rangers practice facility, and I literally jumped at that chance. Within 30 seconds of being on that ice, I went from laying in a bed and maybe walking a mile an hour to being able to use my arms and propel myself on the ice, 10, 15 miles an hour. I found a group of people like me. There's a huge network of people. It's amazing. The first day that my 4-year-old saw me play in a Rangers jersey, he said, "Daddy, you look like a superhero." So that was a good day. As a company, we need to remain accessible, flexible, and compassionate. I have a lot of friends in the disabled community who can't stand the word inspiring. Somebody says, "You are so inspiring to me." My question would be, if I'm inspiring to you, what are you doing now? Am I inspiring you to get out of bed, or are you going to run a marathon? If you're going to be inspired, do something.